Hey guys, so I'm a little late. That's usual for me. But I am here and doing this video today to discuss some things that have been in the news. Oh, sorry. My thing's a little... Okay, so I see the comments from before we started. I just want to make sure everything's good. So I'm going to hop over to Facebook. Okay, cool. I see myself. Okay, so hello. My name is Tara Eveland, and I am not a lawyer or a doctor or any of those things. I have been in the cannabis community as an advocate and on the front lines of the law reform since I was in college. So it will be 18 years in August. So what I'm here today is I want to talk to you guys about the Farm Bill and then what we know of the states that are currently giving some people some issues. So, hi guys, I do see you. So we are all good. Awesome. So if you guys saw yesterday, there was a thing going around about Texas. And hello, guys. So the deal is, what happened is a news story picked up something that they thought could make, really good headlines and whatnot. And it did. And what they picked up is something that is already being discussed and happening in various states. And this news outlet picked up this story and ran with it. And it was one of those things that at the end of the day, after I tell you all this, you're going to see it was one of those like clickbait things. Okay. So nobody was charged with anything there. But what that did was it started a conversation and it started petitions and it started people in Texas saying, hey, like, I'm going to get arrested for having this, one story, even went as far as saying one county had said anyone in possession of CBD without a prescription, will be arrested. So I want to tell you guys, let me get my notes here. This is not just Texas. Since the Farm Bill was signed last month, I didn't hear anything at the end of December, but what has started happening was January 3rd, I believe, might have been even the 2nd, January 2nd, a Colorado local company to me had bought 18,000 pounds of hemp, to be exact, from Kentucky. And they were legally buying it. They had all the documents and they were legally transporting it back to Colorado because the company didn't grow enough hemp to supply all of their products this year. So, no big deal because we have all heard about and read the Farm Bill. We all know there is an interstate commerce clause in this Farm Bill that specifically says no state shall impede the transportation of hemp or hemp products. So what happened in Oklahoma was the semi got pulled over. They smelled marijuana and they looked at the documents they had. And apparently they did some field tests right there in the field. So what is a field test? A field test is when you get pulled over and you've been drinking, you get the DUI field test, right? So if you get pulled over and say you have hemp on you, well, let's just say you have old-fashioned marijuana, okay? And you say that's catnip, okay? They have a test. It's called a field test because you're in the field, at your car with your marijuana, and you're like, it's catnip, right? So they have a little test that they can do right there to see if it has THC in it. And that is the only test that they have available in the field. So when they tested these, in the field, it said this is marijuana. And the cops are on record saying, it looked like marijuana, smelled like marijuana, tested for marijuana. So they put these guys in jail, and there was 4 guys. Now the issue is they had the documentation that said what it was. They had the bill of sale, and it's a legitimate sale, right? So they put these guys in jail, and the government shutdown happened. So these guys have literally sat there all month. 2 of them bailed out. I think it was tens of thousands of dollars. 2 of them are still in the jail because what happened was they realized, well, we have no field tests. We have no ability in Oklahoma to test this plant. So we have to send it to Washington, D.C. Well, Washington, D.C., the lab was closed. So these men sat in jail. It was $500,000 of hemp plants. And as of 4 days ago, they hadn't been returned. They're in danger of, going bad. So the lawyer said 4 days ago on that the tests have came back, and they did 11 samples. Now, 2 of those samples did test just a little bit over the THC limit. But if that happens to hemp growers and they go ahead and sell it, it's just a civil fine. Okay, they get a fine. So for Oklahoma to prosecute these men that legally bought this and to keep them in jail all month long, especially, $18,000 18,000 pounds of someone's medicine. The guy said he's a veteran. He is a veteran-owned company, and this is medicine he's making for veterans, okay? So, yes, these people are still there. So that's Oklahoma, and the consensus is, and the lawyer, they're suing them. They're suing Oklahoma. And Oklahoma said, clearly we don't have the means to, know how to differentiate. There needs to be some training. Which brings me to Texas. Okay, but I do want to skip Texas real quick because Texas, I'm going to go over the House bill here that was introduced yesterday. So I'm going to skip down to Boise, Idaho. So in Idaho, the same thing happened 2 days ago in Ada County. Ada, I don't know what that is. But the state police pulled someone over or didn't pull someone over. They had a routine check, right? So anywho, documents showed that there was hemp being carried in the semi, same thing, actually. It was being bought and going to be back processed at the company that bought it. And the field test showed that it was marijuana, because if you watched in the beginning, I shared with you how field tests literally only detect THC. Okay, so same thing. They arrested them in Idaho, and they are actually demanding the release immediately and an apology. Their lawyer wants an apology, so you can look that up. And let's talk about Texas. So Tarrant County, I don't know how to say that. Long story short, Texas is really where prohibition started, okay? And it's kind of known to kind of want to do its own thing, okay? The saying, we go big in Texas, or don't mess with Texas, they like to do their own thing, and that's awesome. That's why we have the states and constitution, all that. But the problem that's happening in Texas, and specifically this county, is they literally are saying Texas isn't adapting. We're not going with the Farm Bill. Okay, we're not going to adapt the Farm Bill. Quote, Texas is not adapting the Farm Bill. Now, I feel like, even though that quote is on record, I feel like what they were trying to say was that the part I feel like they're trying to say they're not going to grow hemp, okay? They are not going to do a state regulated program, okay, via the Farm Bill to grow hemp there, okay? I think that's what he meant when he said we're not adapting the Farm Bill, because everybody knows about the supremacy clause, and federal law always trumps state law. If there's ever a clash of power, your federal law is always going to trump it. So what is happening is, because federal law says, hemp below this THC level, or yes, below this THC level, hemp is legal. And, you can regulate it in your state. You can regulate how it's grown, how it's manufactured, how it's sold. But you cannot charge people with felonies for it because it's a legal, federally legal, substance. So that's why we have, all these people being pulled over and arrested and whatnot. But there is no legal grounds to charge these people, because when they are getting these tests back, the actual tests, not just the field tests, they're realizing like, this is hemp, this is federally legal and we can't do anything. But the media is going to sensationalize was the word I was looking for. So they're going to want those clicks, and they're going to want people reading their blogs and spending time talking about it and sharing it. That is just what the media does, you guys. So I wanted to come live. I want to tell you guys, especially, in Texas, I have been studying this a lot, and it's nothing new. Okay. This is nothing new. Before the Farm Bill, Alabama tried to do this, and North Dakota and Ohio. I mean, this is not new. But why it's happening is we do not have that standard field test that officers can do in the field to tell if it's hemp or if it's marijuana. Like, they're just using their little test and it's saying, yes, this has THC in it. It looks like marijuana. It smells like marijuana. Take them to jail. But no charges are being able to be stuck. Okay. And these states are getting sued. Oklahoma, especially if that hemp goes bad, it could be a really bad lawsuit. So the Texas, let's see here. I was looking. Okay, so yesterday, Representative Tracy King introduced House Bill 1325. I think it's like 14 pages. I only printed out pages 10 through 13. And I was gonna go and highlight some of this, but I didn't have time because my computer restarted. Yeah, I know, free advertising. Exactly. Okay, so if you want to go read this, you can just Google it. It's House Bill 1325. Let me see if I can get that up there. 13. Oh, it's fuzzy. Anywho, the pages, 1 through 10, right here where it's the subchapter hemp products. Pages 1 through 10, basically they are telling Texas what the Farm Bill says in these pages. And what she has done when she wrote this bill was she is making a Texas hemp growing program. Okay. And that's a whole nother video. All right. But long story short, in the Farm Bill, if your state wants to grow hemp, you have to produce a plan for it. So you have to have a plan for growing it, and, more importantly, a plan for destroying it if it gets too hot and produces THC levels above the legal limit. So this is a plan for Texas to do that. Okay. And then down here where it starts talking about hemp products, what they've done is they have just went in and literally written down, like you would explain to a child, the difference between hemp, hemp-derived, marijuana, etc. And in here, they have literally put this language in here to cover hemp-derived additives, in cosmetics, personal care products, products for human and animal consumption. And then let's see here. They've also put in an article, possession, transportation, sale of hemp products, legally in the state. And then here's another really good one. The department by rule must provide a retailer of hemp products fair notice of a potential violation concerning hemp products sold by the retailer and an opportunity to cure a violation made unintentionally. So basically, since it's legal, instead of coming in and taking all of their CBD and all this medicine from these people, they're saying, hey, you need to do it a normal way, like we do here, in Colorado. We have a marijuana enforcement division, and they're not just gonna, you can get citations, okay? You can get citations and say, fix this, rather than going in and like wiping out inventory and then looking really stupid because you have to return it. And I was talking to someone today. I just want to remind you guys, we don't see those stories in the news. We see the sensualized stories, the stories that, all the CBD was taken, and, if you have CBD, you're going to jail, because they want the clicks and they want the shares. They're not coming back in the news and saying, oh, well, we were wrong, and this is really what happened. Nobody's running those news stories. So keep that in mind. So if you go and you look through here, you guys, again, this literally, page 11, there is even talking about the retail sale of out-of-state hemp products, okay, which we also have in Colorado. So this is very normal. And there's rules related to hemp products. And guys, this is so good because this is literally spelling it out for the state of Texas. You can go right now and write your representatives, and you can tell them to support House Bill 1325. Now, it's not changing the laws per se, because we know that it's federally legal. We know that nobody's supposed to be arresting people for transporting hemp. But what the House Bill 1325 does is it establishes guidelines for Texas to work from, okay? And 41, maybe 42 other states already have this in place. Some have said, if you want to sell it in retail, you have to have a QR code. There's different things for different states. So make sure, you get in here, read this, whatever. And it's good. This is going to be good for the police officers and everyone to work from a cohesive, like, passed bill in the state of Texas. So the House Bill 1325, you can find that on Google. Probably the easiest way, though, is after this video, I will post a link that will go to the U.S. Hemp Roundtable. So it's like hemp supporters link or whatever. And what you can do is, if you are in Texas, only if you're in Texas, because I already tried to send a letter, you can use that little tool, and you just type in your address, and it will pull up who your representative is. It will pull up their email, their website, whatever. Maybe not their website, but definitely like put in their email. And then what's going to happen is it generates this email for you. And you can read it if you like it. It's just a generic email with all the information. You can have it ready to go and just hit send. But if you want to add your own, I suggest, because I send these all the time for years I've sent these. If you want to leave what they have in the email, because it is a lot of good facts, and you want to add something customized, I do suggest doing it in the first paragraph. Okay, so the email will say like, "Dear Senator," whatever. Introduce yourself in the first paragraph and just briefly, share your personal thing, and then leave all those facts in there, because a lot of representatives just don't have the facts, especially in these states like Texas, Idaho, things like that. So let's see here. I'm trying to see if I wrote anything else down. Does anyone have any questions before I get off here? Again, I'm not a lawyer. Basically, in this video, I just wanted to recap the news that's already out there. I wanted to tell you guys, because my inbox is blown up, and I know there's many people concerned. Let me assure you that, if you are with my company, they would not be mailing you anything that's illegal. We use the federal post office. So if there was any issue with that, we would stop shipping to your state. Basically, it's coming down to, as I was explaining earlier, there are no precedents for this, because hemp just became legal for the first time in 100 years in America. So we literally have no court cases to work from on this. And if you know kind of how the law works, when you're in court cases, lawyers like to reference other cases where things have been judged, in favor of whatever side you're taking. There are literally no cases to do this with, okay? So, you know, naive prosecutors, whatever, are getting in, trying to make a name for themselves. You know, it's what the people do, prosecute, right? So maybe they're not against hemp as much as they don't know what they're doing and they don't know what they're against. So that's why these bills are important. Make sure that you write your legislators, okay? And soon, you guys, I don't think we're even going to have this issue. I've been saying this for years, but I really do think 2020, the presidential election, I really, really think that we will be legalizing cannabis, you know, statewide, federally. So we'll see what happens. But that's the gist of it. That's the stories. Okay. And it's nothing new, Texas. So don't worry. Just go support this House Bill 1325, and call your legislators, you know, just be that voice. All right. So carry on. If you guys have questions, you know, drop them in the comments and I'll try to circle back around. And I am going to try to get some of my work done. So you guys have an awesome day and thank you for watching. Be blessed, guys.